Which is better, the Umidigi X or the iPhone 11? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison video between the new Umidigi X and the iPhone 11. Now, the Umidigi X is very new to the market. It just was launched about 2 weeks ago, at least on Amazon, and you can currently get it for $199 after you get the $20 coupon redeemed. So all you need to do is go to the link in the video description, and you'll see that there is a $20 off coupon there, at least at the moment. That could go away in the future. And you'll be able to get your Umidigi X for $199. Now the iPhone 11 in its base form, which is this one, is available for $699. Now both phones are factory unlocked, but with the Umidigi X you are limited to GSM carriers such as AT&T and T-Mobile, and Metro by T-Mobile and Cricket, and smaller GSM carriers like Mint Mobile. And with the iPhone 11 you pretty much get support on every carrier out there in the US, as the phone has support for all 4 major US carriers. Now the Umidigi X features a 6.35-inch display coming in at 720p with a 269 ppi and a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. This display features AMOLED technology, so it's really nice looking with excellent colors. Now the iPhone 11 has a smaller display at 6.1 inches. It has a resolution of 828 by 1792. It has a 326 ppi and features a 19.5:9 aspect ratio. And the iPhone 11 features LCD technology for the display. So without a doubt, the Umidigi X is a better looking display, at least when it comes to colors and clarity, because AMOLED is a much better display technology than LCD. Now both devices do have notches here up top, but there are some very big differences. With the Umidigi X, we have a very small teardrop notch, and with the iPhone 11, we have a very wide notch that really doesn't give you a whole lot of space to the left and right of the notch. So you definitely get a lot more usable screen real estate with the Umidigi X, no doubt about that. You can see when putting the bases of these two phones up next to each other, how much more usable space you really do get with the Umidigi X. Now up top here on the Umidigi X, we have a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and on the iPhone 11, we have a 12 megapixel front-facing camera. Now towards the bottom here, we do have a thicker bezel on the Umidigi X compared to the iPhone 11, but the bezels on the top and sides of the Umidigi X are very thin. With the Umidigi X, we're getting 128 gigabytes of internal storage with SD card expansion, and with the iPhone 11, we have a variety of different options, but for the base model, you get 64 gigs of internal storage with no SD card slot. There is no wireless charging with the Umidigi X, and we do get wireless charging with the iPhone 11. Now with the Umidigi X, you get face unlock and you get an in-screen fingerprint sensor, which is really nice. That's kind of the key feature that comes along with this phone. So that works really well. So I'm definitely a big fan of it. Now there is no fingerprint sensor on the back, of course, but with the iPhone 11, not only is there no fingerprint sensor on the back, but there also is not one in the display either. So you are going to have to depend on Face ID to unlock your iPhone 11 if you don't want to use the standard PIN code. Now we have a variety of cameras on the back sides of both phones here. So in the Umidigi X, we have a 48 megapixel main camera, a 5 megapixel secondary camera for depth sensing, and a third camera on the rear that's 8 megapixels and is ultra wide angle. Now on the iPhone 11, we have two 12 megapixel cameras. The first camera is just your standard camera, and the second one is an ultra wide angle camera. So it is nice that we do get ultra wide angle with both devices. And just in case you're not aware of what wide angle can do for you, let me show you. Here's a standard photo with the Umidigi X with the normal camera. I'm going to now switch over to wide angle, and you can see how much more content fits in the display. Now let's try this out with the iPhone 11 as well. So this is with the standard camera. I'm going to switch over to the wide angle, and again, you can see how much more content you are able to get here in the display. So it is a great way to take photos that really are very immersive. So I'm definitely a big fan of having an ultra wide angle camera. With both phones, we're getting 4 gigabytes of RAM. We are getting different processors though, as you can imagine. With the Umidigi X, we're getting the MediaTek Helio P60 processor. And with the iPhone 11, we're getting the Apple A13 Bionic. Now I did do an Antutu benchmark test with both devices here, so we can compare the scores. So on the Umidigi X, we have an overall score of 168,710, and on the iPhone 11, we have an overall score of 451,115. So definitely a better score on the iPhone 11, but the score on the Umidigi X certainly is not too bad, considering how less expensive this phone is compared to the iPhone 11. Now, video recording with the Umidigi X maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and video recording with the iPhone 11 maxes out at 4K at 60 frames per second. With the Umidigi X, we're getting a 4,150 mAh internal battery, and with the iPhone 11, we're getting a smaller battery at 3,110 mAh. With the Umidigi X, we're getting Android 9 Pie as the software, and with the iPhone 11, we're getting the most up-to-date version of iOS, which is iOS 13. We have NFC with the Umidigi X, and there technically is NFC with the iPhone 11, but it is limited to certain things that are approved by Apple. Now that we've compared the specifications of these two phones, let's take a closer look at the hardware here. So I already talked quite a bit about the front here. We do get a larger display with the Umidigi X, and it is AMOLED compared to the boring and outdated LCD display on the iPhone 11. Taking a look at the left side of both phones here, we have on the Umidigi X nothing, and on the iPhone 11 we have the mute switch and we have the volume buttons. Now we do have a metal band running around the sides of both phones, which is definitely a very premium touch. Taking a look at the right side here on the Umidigi X, we have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card. We have the power button and we have the volume button. And then on the iPhone 11, we have the slot for the SIM card and we have the power button, which is also the Siri button. Then taking a look at the top of both devices, on the Umidigi X, we have the noise canceling microphone and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. And on the iPhone 11, we have nothing. Then taking a look at the bottom of both devices, on the Umidigi X, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the speaker, and we have the microphone. And then on the iPhone 11, we have the microphone, speaker, and lightning port for charging and data transfer. Taking a look at the back side of both phones, definitely some very big differences here in color. They're both reflective on the back. We have kind of this cool black and red texture on the Umidigi X, and on the iPhone 11, it's this product red color. So I do like both. I think both look good. No doubt about it, though, that both are fingerprint magnets. For this next test, I'm going to be doing a decibel test. So I have a decibel meter here, and I'm going to run the first 7 seconds of the same video on both phones, and then I'm going to see which device can get the loudest. So let's get started.
Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the newest features from Visible called...
Okay, so for this one, 105.9 was the loudest that the Umidigi X was able to get. Let's reset this now and do the iPhone.
Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the newest features from Visible.
And it looks like with the iPhone 11, it was 105.8. So pretty much a tie here between the two devices. However, I feel like the iPhone 11 does have the better quality speakers overall, but it looks like as far as loudness goes, both devices can get just as loud. Let's now do a speed test comparison to see which of these two devices is faster. Let's start by pulling up the camera apps. So 1, 2, 3, go. It looks like the iPhone 11 was slightly quicker at pulling up the camera. And let's now pull up the default web browsers on both phones. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the iPhone 11 was near instant, with the Umidigi X being a little bit behind. But still, the Umidigi X was very quick and was able to catch up. Let's go to yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like in this test, the Umidigi X is quicker at pulling up Yahoo. Let's go to engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. It looks like the Umidigi X was slightly quicker at pulling up engadget.com, so that's cool. We'll try some scrolling. Very smooth on the Umidigi X, and very smooth on the iPhone 11 as well. Probably a bit smoother, to be honest. So I'm really interested to know what you think about these two devices. Now clearly this one is way less expensive than this one. I always have on my various videos where I compare a budget phone to a flagship phone, that people comment and say that these comparisons are not fair. That's not the point. The point is to see how a budget phone compares to one of Apple's best selling devices. So this is kind of a benchmark phone that I compared to pretty much every phone that I cover on the channel. So this whole thing about how comparison videos need to be fair really doesn't make any sense, because I compare every device that I have to a variety of different phones in different tiers. So keep that in mind. But I hope you enjoyed this video about the Umidigi X and iPhone 11. Definitely let me know which one you prefer in the comment section below. And if you want to buy either of these, then take a look at the link in the video description. But this is Kevin here. This is the Umidigi X. This is the iPhone 11. And I will see you in the next one.